Well, we already told you earlier that Melanie Fiona is a force to be reckoned with.
She sure is. Since her 2009 debut, the Canadian performer has yet to slow down. She's won countless awards, had several chart toppers, and now she's using her high profile for good.
All right.
Well, welcome to Arise Entertainment 360, Miss Melanie Fiona. How are you doing, Miss Melanie Fiona?
Good. How
Thank you so much for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
You look so cute.
Thank you.
Look at your button on your hat. Positive thinking. We like that.
Positive thinking, negative shrinking. Spread the word.
Oh, I like that.
It's a new campaign.
It's a new campaign.
Okay.
Well, you've had quite the magic carpet ride since you started in 2009, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a blessed journey for me, I have to say, yeah.
And now you're going to be performing at SOBs in, what, a few weeks?
May 1st, actually.
1st.
Yeah.
So that's right around the corner.
Yeah, one of the first shows I ever did in New York City was at SOBs, and I remember it was my first sold-out show, and the line was around the block. I was so excited, and I haven't performed there since, and I really, now being a New Yorker, wanted to just come back and do something really small and intimate for my fans here. So it's going to be an acoustic set, and just much more, I think, intimate experience from what they've got for me in the past.
I like that.
Will we be able to see you playing any of those instruments?
The only instrument I want to play publicly is my voice.
Oh,
for now.
Okay. For now.
I'm learning guitar, actually. So
okay,
soon, yeah.
But you know, it's interesting because most artists want to play bigger and bigger stages, but for you, it was important to just, you know, strip down, get back to the basics, and really have that close connection with the audience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love them both. They both are great in their own respective categories. There's nothing more amazing than feeling 10,000 people rock with you. But, you know, I love SOB's venue, and I love being able to see my fans' faces. So, you know, I think that it's just like a little gift. I just wanted to do it. It's a last-minute thing, and you know, just see the fans that I haven't seen in a while. Yeah.
Now you're living in New York, but you're originally from Canada.
Yeah.
And Shannon had a good question. What is in the?
Was it basically the music industry that led you to come to New York? Why? Because I see you at events all the time here in the city. And
yeah,
so.
you know what? It's just kind of like, the opportunity was granted to me here in America, and I came and I left Canada to do it, and so I've been doing it, going back and forth for years. But I am born and raised in Toronto, Canada.
And Canada, I'm sorry.
And no, and that's it. And just, you know, New York for me is what I feel is like a great city for me. It's really inspiring. It's close to home. It's an hour flight home.
That's true.
And I just love New York. I gave LA a try for a little bit. Didn't work out.
No. I feel you on that.
It's all about the Big Apple, baby.
Big Apple? Well, there must be something in the Canadian water, because you got Justin Bieber, Drake. You guys are just birthing stars all over the place there.
You know
Maybe
what?
it's the maple syrup.
It's the maple syrup. You know what it is? I think what makes Canada beautiful is that a lot of our parents are immigrants to Canada. So we draw from so many cultural influences. And so I think that really influences our music to be on a world scale. And I just think that with the catalyst, I think that Drake really became for Canada, it made everybody kind of pay attention that there is so much talent. And we've always known there's talent there. But it's just nice the rest of the world is taking notice.
Now, I interviewed Drake last year for Vibe magazine. He told me that you guys were actually in a group together back in the day.
Yeah, we were.
Talk to me about that.
So we were young. He was still on Degrassi. I was still, you know, in the process of making demos to go get a record deal. And we met, him, myself, another male vocalist, and actually, I think to this day, his keyboard player. And we would just gig at this little supper club, kind of sing for our supper. And we were called the Renaissance. And it was just a collective group of individual artists doing something really cool for our city. And so then eventually we continued to pursue our own solo careers, but it was nice to then again see each other where we are now, and that's legitimately in the art, like in the industry as artists. So it's cool.
At the top of the game,
right? Not only just in the industry. But do you see you guys like collaborating anytime soon on some stuff?
Well, you know, we've done some stuff in the past,
and it was great. We want more.
Yeah, he actually, we did a record on my album, The MF Life, and it's called That Girl. I've been that girl, and I was really excited to do it because it was not the typical rapper-singer duet. It was really a writing collaborative, and he's such a great songwriter. So I would definitely like to do something. I recently did a viral video that went crazy online. I covered Started From the Bottom by Drake. It's his song, and I kind of like freestyled it at home, and people loved it. And I just love that record, and I just love what he represents, because we know what it is to come from where we come from. So I'm glad that people are supporting us.
Well, when I was up there interviewing him, I didn't realize just how much of a melting pot Toronto actually is. And he told me that you have one of the biggest Caribbean festivals in the world.
Yeah, Caravana.
Caravana.
Yeah, it's pretty live. I mean, I've yet to go to Trinidad's Carnival, which is like on the bucket to-do list. But yeah, growing up in Toronto, that's like a staple. And a lot of people come up. It's the floats, it's the full costume, it's big, huge trucks and parade down the street. I mean, it's really amazing, and it's a beautiful thing that's really signature to Toronto. It's everybody knows Caravana in Toronto. It's a bit of a wild weekend.
Well, I bet it is. So you talk a little bit about your life there and all the things you've done, and a lot of people see your success now, but they don't know exactly what else you had to go through to make it big. So what were some of those early challenges, and what was that first big break for you?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, before I think really Drake, artists like myself and Drake came along, I mean, you have great artists like Deborah Cox and Cardinal Official, and you know, I mean, even in more mainstream pop, you've got, you know, the Celine Dion's and Shania Twain's, but Canada was really overlooked. And every time I stepped into a room and was like, I'm Canadian, they would look at me like, what does Canada do about music? And I'm like, man, like, I can't believe it's like I'm fighting the odds that way. And then also I think just being a woman, actually, a young woman in the industry was a struggle for me, because I was so determined to not compromise my integrity or my morals to please the, you know.
We know what you're saying.
We know. We can read between those lines.
Yeah, so you know, so I really had to stick to my guns, and it's taken, I think, a little bit longer for me, but I'm getting there, and I'm proud of who I am and the artist that I am. So, you know, it's peace of mind is better than, you know, quick rise to fame.
Right, and that's good that you can stand as a symbol that it is possible to not overturn your morals and your ethics. So.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Just don't be a stranger to hard work. Everybody wants a quick fix these days. I just feel like, don't be a stranger to hard work.
It's so true, though. People forget about the slow grind, but oftentimes that's the best way to go, don't you think? I mean, you got to gig in the small places. You got to do the small tours. So when you finally do arrive on the big stage, you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a choice. You have to just decide what type of artist you want to be. I forever want to be able to do arenas as well as small, intimate venues. And it's just really about the loyalty of the fans. And I feel like I'm a marathon artist, not a sprinter.
So who's on repeat on your iPod now?
Right now on repeat, oh, it's the Justin Timberlake album.
Yeah.
Really?
It is hot.
You like that suit and tie.
Oh, man, I love that 2020 experience. I mean, it is a solid body of work from start to finish. And I mean, I just love that he just broke all the rules, putting 9-minute songs on there and doing remixes to the same song, different context. It takes real artist creativity and you know, gall to be able to step out and do that. So I love it.
I love it. Now let's talk about your philanthropic work. That's very important. You have 2 charities that you're working closely with. One is called New Way of Life Reentry Project, and the other is called the Remix Project in Canada.
Yeah.
Talk to us about both of those.
Well, they definitely focus on 2 things I'm very passionate about, which are women and I think self-work and then of course music. So a New Way of Life Reentry program is this amazing organization that helps to get women who have been formerly incarcerated or come from a troubled past, get them back into society with working, jobs, social networks, and just helping them get back in society on their feet. And it's really a gift to me to be able to sit with women like that and just hear their struggle of what they've been through and what they've learned and what they've had to sacrifice and leave behind, what they've lost. And then for me to share my story and give them a different perspective on life. So it's really a 2-handed gift, which I really love speaking to those women. And it's a proud moment to see women stand up for themselves and find their inner strength and learn. And I'm very, very supportive of that. And then the Remix Project, I'm an ambassador for a program that takes children or kids from underprivileged, underserved communities and gives them an opportunity to develop their skills in music and art and production, photography, vocal, I mean, everything. So I've done a lot of mentorship programs. I've even recorded at the facilities in Toronto. Wow. I'm very proud of that because for 2 reasons. 1, it's for my city, and 2, it's for the future. It's just instilling hope in kids that you can do what you love to do, and you can really make it a profession for yourself. So
it seems like a lot of your nonprofit work is revolving around instilling hope in people and you know, giving them that encouraging word. Is that like a must-have component for you to participate in something? Yeah,
I definitely think it all has to be positive. I'm really big on self-awareness and kind of doing emotional work with people, because I think that when you get to the root of any problem. It's just kind of like looking within yourself to find out what it is.
Yep.
And so I feel like music is that way. I feel like life is that way, and you have to take the time to sometimes just talk about it. So I love talking to anyone that needs someone to listen to or needs some advice. It's always, I think, been my first love. Even as a kid, I was always the kid that was like helping out the kid in the playground, like, is everything okay? Or I don't know. I have a really sensitive bone in my body to just listen and help people. So
well, we love that, and it comes across in your music as well. And speaking of music, what's next?
What is next?
We know about the concert.
Okay, so the concert's coming up.
We'll be there.
Yes, I'm actually going to be doing a bunch of shows coming up. I've got some shows in Toronto and DC, Miami coming. This album is going to be about strength and growth. And I think it's going to be a collective of just songs that I really need people to hear these particular stories.
That sounds so perfect. We cannot wait to hear it, Miss Melanie. You promise to come back with a new album. You promise?
I promise.
All right, that's a deal.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at SOBs.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Right.
May 1st.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're watching Arise Entertainment 360.